do something about string manipulations. If you recall, previously we gave you a sort of like a mini assignment where you are using those methods or functions, or those some inbuilt functions or methods to manipulate data. So you are manipulating that string with the method, and I want to explain to you how that works, so that you don't. I know it's something that we had not done, but I'll try to explain to you. Okay, so blah blah blah. For example, we have a 4-character string coded inside quotes of the single double. They mean the same thing, but a single small comma. All right. So basically, so we want to tackle string manipulation, and for instance, we want to see how certain methods or functions can act on the data, or on a string data or any data. So, but right now we are dealing with strings. So I'll quickly jump into my, yeah. So for instance, I have this string, and please, if, I hope my screen is clear. Is it clear enough? Is my screen clear enough?
Yes,
Okay.
it's clear.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so let's proceed on. So please be very keen, because I'm going to touch on so many things. Yeah, so for instance, a string like this, my name Peter, and now, right now, you know that we can both use double quotes or single quotes, so that's not an issue. So for instance, right now, like I have a name here, my name Peter, this is a string, and of course, let's not get into that data and variables and all that kind of stuff, but basically we are just storing this piece of data into this label or into this box called S. And this is just a variable, and it can be lowercase or even an uppercase. So what I want to do, I want to manipulate this data, this variable, with certain methods. So what, for instance, if I want to check the length of what's stored in here, what we do, we use a len method. We use a lens as a len method, and that just basically means len. And so since it's a method, how do we do it? So since it's a method, we just do, we can just say print as len. We can just say len as print. So basically, I can print it here, or since I'm using this Jupyter notebook, I don't have to. But we use len, and then you put that. Yeah, you do it this way, and you just run it, and it shows us that this is a 5-character string. So this shows us the number of characters inside this string. So basically, this is a method. It's called a method. This length or a function, depending on the context where it's situated. So this is how it is. And it's an object. Everything in Python is an object. We'll tackle that in object-oriented programming. But so this is that function that we are using. This is an inbuilt method. So anytime that you want to check the length of anything, the length of something, whatever it is, you just check it this way. I've just changed the contents of that variable. So if we check this again, it should change now. How many? If we print it again, len s, well, it should not show 5. Why is it showing? I've changed it, so why is it showing? Just a minute. Anyway, I don't know why it's Something. Let me just delete again. I don't know why it's not printing. Okay, so let's say name is equal to Ben. So we just manipulate that data, and the method basically just acts or performs a function or acts on the data on the left side. So you just say len name, and this tells us that this is a 3-character string. Okay. Yeah, so let me jump into something else. And there's also what's called string indexing, though that's in, we'll do a lot of indexing when we start tackling, oh yeah, this is what I was looking for, this one. Yeah, so we'll do a lot of indexing when we start tackling lists and other data types. But for now, let's do, for instance, we have this string called code. Okay. So this code, let's try and find the index of the elements in this string. And basically what we just do, you can just use a print, or for my case, I don't have to do that. This is how we index. We try to index, we use indexing this way. So if we want to find which element is in position 2, we just do it this way. We find that D is in position 2. Remember, when we talk about indexing in programming, we start from 0, the zeroth number. Okay, the zeroth number. So that means that our 0 is C, and then 1 is O, and then 2 is D, and then 3 is E. So if I try to index to find the element in index 2, essentially what I'm saying, I want to get D. Okay, and this is the syntax. You just do, you can do like this because of your IDE. So you put in you put in the variable, the name of the data type, of the data label, and then you enclose it in, so for instance, we want 3. So you enclose it in that bracket, and you find that it's E. And you can make it more visible. For instance, you can say that the element, can use string formatting, the element. So we can say the element in position 2 is, and then what you do, you can you just you can do like this, and then use the string braces, and then you close it. So here we grab the variable. So it's S. So the element in position 2 is S, and then our position 2 will be 1. That is okay. Position 2 will be 1, and you just put it like that. So the element in position 2 is, and then if we print this, it should, if we have an error, we check the element in position 2 is. So who can tell me where the problem is coming from? Quickly, please. Quickly, please. Quickly, please. Why are we getting an error?
You've mixed both double quotes and a single quote.
Good. Yeah, it's expecting. Why is it? Yeah, and what about this? You're not seeing this? Okay. The element in position 2 is 1, and as we can see, if we print back if we print back our variable, it's code. So the element in position 2 is 0, 1, 2 is D, and you see here the element in position 2 is 1. and position 1 is, yeah, position 1 is, no, it's not picking up what we want because we're making a mistake. This is how we do string formatting. I expect you to know this by now, okay? We are still making a mistake, so we have to remove this. The element position 2 is okay, so the element in position 1 is 0, is this one, is O, the element in position. I hope you're seeing the syntax. The element in position 3, what's the element in position 3? We are not getting the element in position 3 because we don't have position 3, do we? Because this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have, no, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So the element in position 3 should be E, which is here. I think let me move to another IDE very quickly. This is a bit giving me, but anyway, let's just use this one. Okay, so is that making sense? Have you understood how I've done this? Is it making sense, everyone? Is it making sense to us? Hello, I'm talking to you guys. Please talk to me. I'm not looking at the screen, so please just unmute and you talk back to me. Okay, fine. Okay, I've seen. Yeah, so very quickly.
Yes, it is making sense.
Okay, it's making sense. So what basically what I'm saying, if you have a string stored in a variable S, or this can be anything, let's call it a box. So you have a string in a variable stored box, and this string has the name Peter. Okay, so essentially what I'm saying is that I can find every element in the word Peter. First of all, I can get that how many elements are in here. I can find this using the len function. Another thing, I can find the every element in the index position of every element, like I've said. So it's just print, and then what you do, you put the name of the element, the name of the variable, and then you use what? Use this box, and then you can call that name. For instance, you want the second element, which is T. So you do it this way, and we use the print call. So if we print this, we get that T is the element in the second position. And last time we mentioned to you that, you see, this is a print call. This is a function, and it's an inbuilt function. And what we are doing here, we are making a call. It's called a call. We are calling this function. And this function, normally, if you call it with, you can call an empty function, or you can put some arguments, or you can put something here. Those are called arguments. So if you just call it this way, then it will just give you an empty space. It will just create for you some space. Okay, so it will just create unnecessary spaces for you. But if you put something inside, then it will do something, it will spit out something using the argument that you've given that function. Mostly functions, they need some sort of argument or some sort of data so that they can do what they're supposed to perform. All right, so the next thing I wanted to check very quickly again is this one. So we can do all that. We can do negative indexing. I need to get into this. Okay, let me just get into that very quickly as well. So we can do negative indexing as well. For instance, I can do negative indexing if I want. So the variable is called a box, so I can just do box, and then if I want, this should be let me say -1. This should grab for me, I think, the last element. So it grabs for me the last element, the last element in position, in the last position. So it does what's called negative indexing. Okay, does that make sense to you? And also we can grab, if we want to grab this will make a lot of sense to you when we start manipulating a lot of data. So when we want to, we can also do what's called slicing. So when we want to grab everything again, we just do this. This should grab for us the entire everything. It should pick up for us everything in that storage, okay, or in that variable, or in that level. And we can grab from the first, maybe to the second one, or maybe from the 0th element to the second one. So from the 0th element, if you want from the 0th element to the third one, maybe you do something like this. And you can see from 0, we start with the P. Then you count excluding the third one. So P, then 1, that's the first one, then second, then the third one is E. So it doesn't, this slicing does not pick the third one. It picks the element before the third one. So this is what it means. We are only slicing. We need those elements between 0 position and the third position. So in between, that's what we want, not 0 to the third one. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Yeah, negative indexing, that's basically the same. Len, we have done that. This is called offsetting, as you can see over here. So from the first one to the third one, so we just grab the first one and the second one only. So this will give us, I think, just one element. We can try this and see. It's not defined. Let me do it in here. So it's here. So what does it give us? It gives us only 2 letters. That's E and T. Okay. So let's check another manipulation. So everything plus So we grab that, and there's something that's called concatenation. Concatenation just means joining 2 strings. Okay, so when we want to concatenate, maybe, okay, let me just go ahead. First of all, I have it somewhere here. We'll meet it somewhere here. Then I'll come to that concatenation aspect. So you cannot perform, these strings are immutable. They are not like dictionaries, or they're not like dictionaries. They're not like lists. And what that means we can't. There are certain things that we cannot perform on a string. For instance, on lists we can pop up the list. So for instance, we have this list called. This list is called list 1. So this is the difference. So this is 1, 2, 3. We have these elements in this list. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. So this is a list we've defined, and I want to grab this particular element. So I can just do pop, and I can just do list. Can do print. Then list 1. Then I just invoke this function called pop, and it will pop up just the way it How am I doing it? Am I forgetting? I want to pop. Yeah, I want to pop. I want to pop the last element. So let me. Why am I forgetting how to do it? Bobby, remind me. It's is it? Okay, no worries, no worries. I'll just remember. Don't worry. Just now, let me just continue. So what I wanted to explain is this. For instance, I would like to assign. Let's say I would like to assign box the element 0 something into that element. So maybe I want to assign maybe W. So I can't do this. Is called, we are trying to manipulate this variable. We want to manipulate this variable here. We want to change what's in the first index, which is P. So I want to substitute P with W. But let's see what we get if we try to do that. So we can't do that. String object does not support item assignment. So we cannot assign that item over there. However, we can do this with the list. For instance, let's say name is equal to names is equal to, or fruits is equal to, let's put them in a list when the first poll. Yes, and maybe bananas. Maybe bananas. Then we close that. So I'd like to change what is in this box of ours. In this box contains fruits, but now I want to change what's in index 1. I want to put in something in that index. So for instance, what I'll just do is I would like to assign position 1 to something else. So I could do it this way, and then maybe can say, what do you want to assign? Maybe we can say maybe berries for now. And now if we check that variable of ours, fruits, if now we check it, you see now we have changed what's in the index, first index position. Initially we had this is the first one. And you see, when we change it now, we've assigned something to the 0th index. What I was trying to do is that that cannot happen with strings because they are what they are, immutable. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so we will get an error if you try to do that. Does not support item assignment, so that will not work. Yeah, like even here, so trying to assign Z to position 0th, it will not work. We get an error. Okay, so for instance, I did something here. What was I trying to do? I think I was trying to create a list out of a Python, out of a Okay, so I was trying to create, so for instance, we have this variable, let me see, it's the variable here. Okay, we have this variable s. So we have this variable s called Python. And I want to create a list out of it. So let's call this list is equal to list s. And of course, the list, this is how we initiate. This is a constructor for, it's a constructor for creating a list. So I've converted this string into this list. And so I want to change this into C or something. So what I think I invoked the join function dot join. So like I've told you, and we have to pass in something as an argument. So I am passing in this list now to this join function, and let's see what's the outcome. So the outcome again is Python Python. There's something that we need to assign. Oh, I want to okay. I got what I was trying to do. So let me assign. Let's change this to C ton or something. So let's assign 0th element. Let's change it to something else instead of using Python. So let's change it to something else. And maybe we can say we want C. Okay. And so we want C. So let's see. We want C. So Python. Let's check how I did it before. I assigned this to this, then I'm omitting dot join should be all. Sit down here. So what we have succeeded to do, we have used this method called join, and we have joined. We have assigned. This is the initial one. So we have removed p, and what we did first of all, we converted that to we converted this to a list by doing this. So when we convert this to a list, and then we assigned C to this position, which is the 0th position. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, something else that are the same, you can assign anything you want. So another thing that I want to talk about is comments. So comments, you will use a lot of, in programming, you will use a lot of commenting, and commenting is not for, it's for you as a programmer, especially when you'll be collaborating. So we have single line comments. So this is single line comments. Let me delete everything. So the goodness with using a Jupyter notebook is that there's something which is called Markdown. So it allows me to comment, to write some notes while I'm teaching. So basically single line comments, and then it turns back to code. So for a single line comment, for instance, normally it's just to inform people what you're doing, what your program is doing. If it's a small program, sometimes you don't have to, but it's something that you need to get used to. So for instance, I am storing my age in a variable. Okay, so this is a comment, and maybe you can say, so you want to store my age, the name, my age, inside this variable. So my age maybe is 79. So I'm storing my age in that variable. So that's a comment. And we also have double line comments or compound comments. So compound comments, let me just, it's very easy. You just have several lines. And the compiler will not run the comments because they are supposed to be, you need to inform people what your program is doing. When your program, especially when you're writing complex functions, then you need to comment your code, okay? Any question before I go ahead? Any question up there? I want to assume we are all together. Are we together? Are we guys together? Any question that somebody has? Okay. And then we have, we also have compound. We have doc strings, and the doc string is something like this. Especially when you're writing, that is more informative. So for instance, the doc string, it's more informative. Like, let me write a function over here. So this function is a greeting function, and I just want to pass, it's a greeting function. I want to pass name because I want to greet someone. So I'm going to put the name of the person I'm going to greet inside this function. And so what I can do over here, I want to write that this function, what the function does. The function greets people. Okay, so this is a doc string. So especially when it's a huge program. So this is how we do it. So maybe print the string format hi, print hi, and then the name of the person. So let's say a name.title, and then again we enclose it in that curly braces and ensure you finished with this single quote, because you started with the single quote, and since it's a print call, ensure you enclose it. Okay. So this function basically, what we are informing whoever is going to read our program that this is what this program will be doing. This function will be doing. A function basically is just a bunch of codes that they do something, and we interchangeably call them functions or methods. Okay, and for this one to run, and so that you see it's really greeting someone, we have to call this function, and this is how we call this function. We can print it here over, or I don't have to do this. I just write greeting, and I have to pass in the name. I have to pass it, give it something, that name. So for instance, let's give it name Peter. Okay, so I have to give it that so that it does what it's supposed to do. And you see this can be 500,000 lines of code in here, but this piece of call causes it to do something. So we've instructed this function to do this, that when we call this function, it's going to print the name of a person, and then maybe hi, maybe we want to say good morning because it's a greeting function. So good morning. So let's see what it. So hi Peter, good morning. It's because we've used string formatting over here, and string formatting normally it means that we are trying to make the string readable in a more readable for it to make sense. And what it does, it grabs the value in this variable. So this variable right now, we have defined a variable but not yet populated it. So when this variable gets some data, that it gets created. Yeah, I don't want to get so much into that. I don't want to get into global variables. Benjamin went through it, and local variables. We'll get in depth in that when we start doing functions. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So the intention of this was to show you that this is a talk string. So it does that. We can also use it in classes. For instance, I can say that this is a car class. When we start doing object-oriented programming, we will have things like, let me just do it very quickly. A class, car class. So it's a class. A class, we normally say it's a blueprint. And it does what? str. I hope I am not forgetting. And so we have what's called self. And a car has a name, a car has date of manufacture, a car has color, a car has manufacturing date, you can say date of manufacture. Okay, yeah. So I've just defined a car class over here, and these are the attributes that the car normally has. And so I want to attach this piece of data to some variables. So the car color self.name, so we can say it's equal to name, self.date is equal to date. Don't worry about the complexity of this. My intention is just to explain doc strings over here. And since we are lazy typing, we just copy and paste. Let me just write it, okay. Self.color, when we start getting into this, it's very, very interesting, and I'm sure you will like it. So if you want me to explain just a little bit, I can just offer you some explanation. Self.dom date of manufacture. Okay, and so the OM. So essentially, so the intention is to explain to you how is docstring over here. And so we can say that this class defines the parameters of this class defines the parameters of a car let's just say like that, of a car. And this can be long, so yeah, if you have a long, you don't want to use those hash pounds, you just use this docstring. It explains what the program does, especially when you are collaborating with each other. It does that. And maybe what you want to do, you want to define maybe another. You've heard me talking about methods. So like I explained to you, when you're using functions or variable names, you have to use meaningful names, okay? So essentially what this does, I've been programming the whole day, so my hand is very, very tired. So essentially what this does is we want to describe the name of this car and all this. So we can do maybe print. Let me not get into it, but just so let's say self print the name of the car. Let's not we can say, so this will be self dot name, self, so this will be self dot, the second one is dot date, self dot color, self dot DOM, the date of manufacture, dot DOM, and yeah, and so forth and so on. And you have to ensure, because we are using string formatting, so you have to ensure that you enclose it in that single quote. Okay. So self.name. So basically, this is just this function. What it does, it's going to print for us, because functions normally do certain things. So it will print for us the name of the car, the name of this. But just like in functions or methods, we have to do what's called instantiation, and we normally instantiate or create that car, because this is a car class, and a class is just is a blueprint. It's like a template that defines what that car should have and the things that it's supposed to do. And these functions are just like the doing what, like the verbs. So they direct the program on what this guy is supposed to be doing. I don't want to get into that. If I have to go further, I can still go further just a little bit. The other team, they know what basically happens when we do this. So if I have to end here, what I can do now, I have to create that car, a particular car that I'm creating, because this is a blueprint, this is a template. It's the overall instruction on how this guy is supposed to behave. So it has the behaviors and it has attributes of a particular car that we are trying to create. Okay. For instance, what's the name of our class? It's called a car class. So for us to do this, first I can call the first car, we can call it Nissan. Maybe we can call this it's a BMW, for instance, BMW. So that's the instance of our car. An instance is just the real car, and that's what you keep on seeing me referring to here as self. And I then now I have to use the name of the class, and then I have to start passing now these parameters. Okay, I have to pass those parameters inside the parentheses. And right now, that because I want to print the car, the name, so I'll probably call it. No, this should be the first car. Maybe our first car. Our first car it's gonna be a BMW. So BMW will be our first car, and so forth and so on. So I have to ensure that I have passed in all this inside here. Does that make sense? Are we lost? Okay. So this is the comment I was telling you about. These are my previous notes before I was preparing them for you. So I'll give you these notes, you'll go through them. So multi-line comment, so single line comment, as you can see, it's here. And multi-line comments, just several of these, and then the doc string, like I've explained over here. This is a function, it prints, so you can explain what that does, you see, over here, and then you call that function, it prints for you something. So this function is just the name, and we give it that name, then it prints for us a nicely formatted name, hello Alice. So if we run it, we will get that same still. Yeah, so we don't have to get into that. So this is just the same thing that I've just explained here, there. Yeah, so I gave you this I gave you this little exercise last time, and it's in the spirit of still in the spirit of manipulating data using methods. Okay, so let me delete this. So for instance, we have we can say we have first name. First name is Peter. My first name is Peter, and then my last sorry, last name is equal to. Please ask me questions before I go ahead. I don't want to lose you. Please ask me this question. Are we together, all of us? Are we understanding? Are you floating? Anybody floating? Are we together? Are you understanding? Hello? Can I hear from you? Tiffany says, gives a thumbs up.
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay, fine. Other people, are you okay? Okay. I want to
Yes.
I want to assume that we are good. So let me continue. So I gave you this little exercise, and my intention was for you to read further. So, what did I want from you? For instance, let me make it a little bit big. Okay, so let me just print my first name and last name. So I can just say, so my full names are, so please get used to using this string formatting. So it's a very nice way of just formatting your strings. Just get used to it. So my first name, so I can enter some little text here, and I can say my first name. My first name is, and I use this. Okay. It's what do I have to do? Full name. Let me just use. It does not change, but I just want to make it simple. So my first name. This will be my first name. This will be my second name, and I've just used these variables to store those values. And so in here, so I have to call. I have to like grab. I have to use the same. So that will be my first name. So I want to capitalize this. So yeah, I can use the title. So I want to make the first name to be capitalized. So here, for instance, if I put small p, it will capitalize it for me. And then ensure always you close this with either double quote or a single quote. My first name is that one, and I can say it, I can finish on my second name. Second name is the same. I do this and I do just that. Name dot, let me put that dot upper. Okay, we will come to, let me just put upper. So let's make it all, let's ensure those are upper. So when we, let's check our variable names. F name, this should be first name, last name, F name dot title. If we have made a mistake somewhere, my first name is fname dot title, and my second name is s name. Yeah, so we made a mistake here. It should be l dot upper. So we want that to be upper. Okay. So let's ensure that we save it. We run when it's saved. So if we have an error somewhere, so let's check again, where are we making a mistake? I want you to look at it. Tell me, where are we making a mistake? Look at it. Full names. My first name is fname. So let's check. This is fname dot title. And my second name is, so where are we making a mistake? Somebody wants to try? Somebody wants to try? Talk to me, please. Yes, Bonnie. Yes, Bonnie, carry on. Please unmute and speak up. Catherine Ivalia, you want to try? Where are we making a mistake? Where is the mistake? If okay, let's even leave. Let's make it simple so that say fname. Let's even leave the title. Just put it fname. so that that's for just for brevity's sake. lname. So do you think this will run? This should run, right? So fname is not defined. Why? Unless we are not fname, they're here. So unless it's let me try and save and then check if it works or it doesn't work, then we'll find out why. Oh, yeah. Have you seen where the mistake is? I've seen it. You haven't seen where the mistake is? Even the previous one didn't have a problem. So we have to print this because we have to print this so that it can give us the name. So name is Peter Udur. So we had not printed this. Like I've told you, don't do this in your... Sorry, somebody saying something? Don't do this in your app. Always use the print call. Mine has an inbuilt print call, so I don't have to do it always. Yeah, so we can, now that it's running, our program is running. So the mistake I was doing, I was not printing this. So we can capitalize now this. We can say dot type. Let's say dot app, or you know, we normally have this Zen of Python. The Zen of Python. If you import this, you have this Zen of Python always. So okay, discard it and then so this is the Zen of Python. Yeah. So the Zen of beautiful explicit is better than implicit. Simple is better than complex. Please, you can read it at your own time. So why I'm showing you this is because we are trying to be as simple as possible. So instead of using those two functions over here, why can't I just put it here? Full names dot upper. That's what I meant. And if I print this, so you see this has been changed to upper. Can somebody tell me very quickly if I want to change just the first letter of each name? I want to capitalize the letter. Somebody tell me very quickly what to do, which function to use. Yes. Which one? Catherine?
Title.
The title. The title. So you see it's changed. Okay. Yeah. Let's go on. Looks simple. Yeah. So this is all about the string formatting that I was talking about. So yeah. So get used to this. This nicely prints out for us this. What if I put dot capitalize? What do you think we'll get? So I have capitalized. If I put capitalize, it capitalizes. You see, this was a small a, now it is capital. But I was trying to, what I was trying to do, I was avoiding using it here because I have to use it twice. So instead I put it in here. So there's what is called object dot notation syntax. Object dot notation syntax. So this is the object. And in Python, everything is an object. Object has properties and can be acted on by methods. So this is the object, and this is the dot notation. Notation is just the syntax. Syntax is just the language. Okay. Yeah. So we go back. So if you want to capitalize or make them capitalized, you just do dot title or dot capitalize. So what we essentially what we're doing, we are invoking capitalize, and you have to get it correctly. We are invoking this method, which is an inbuilt Python method. So you can see Full name, is it this? I hope this is, I'm only seeing, I hope this is capital L. Let me check. Wait. Title. So that capitalizes the first one, so not the difference. So if I put dot capitalize, I'm capitalizing the first one only. But if I put dot title, then every title in each name gets capitalized. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I also have, we've done that, adding white space to strings with tabs or new lines. Okay, this is a new, could look a little bit foreign, but it's not foreign. Something that you can hack. Now, for instance, you want to, so name is equal to, and there's a difference. If you're given this, name2 is equal to Peter, name3 is equal to, let me use different names. Yeah. So this is called a white space, and this can cause a bug in your program. So you have to ensure you check wherever you're doing your programs, ensure you don't leave these unnecessary white spaces, okay? So what I want to test over here is I want to remove this white space. So what we use, there's a method that's called strip method. So I want to remove the one on the right side. So name.strip .right strip. So I want to remove that, and of course I have to pass in. No, I don't have to pass in, like of course I'm using that object notation syntax. So I want to remove this one over here, and let's see what comes out. Let me just let me enclose it in this print call. So it's not working. It must call name print. Our strip name is not defined.
The apostrophe in name for Peter is far away.
Yeah, it's intentional. That's what I want to explain. There is some space here. You see, there's some space here. This is okay, but we want to remove this space so that it's normal. But that's very good of you for noticing. So that's the essence of our class, of our lesson. So before I get to that, yeah, it's just name.rstrip. What did I do wrong over there? So name.rstrip, then I remove this space over here. And if I put the space on the left side, then I do name.leftstrip L, and I'll remove that space. So it gives me, let me use a different name, like Caleb. So you see it very well. So and if I print, so you see, where is it? Name, okay, Caleb. So you Caleb, and then it's picking. Let me put it in a different, because I think I've confused them over here. So let me put them where they are just by themselves. So let me use this one as Caleb. And so print. So we have commented out this, so this nobody sees them, it's only us. So print name dot left strip. So this should print for us Caleb without any space. That's what I want to do. Sometimes if it doesn't work, it means probably that it's not like the console has stopped working. So you see here, and if I just print the name without, let's see the difference. You see this space here. just the normal one. But if I strip it, then we don't have this space. Okay, we just get Caleb without this space. That's the same for the right side. So let's assume that there. So let me print the name here. So I have to save and here. So that's Caleb. Let's print it without. You can see the spaces here. I hope that makes sense. And also, I want you to notice something here, like a new line. If you want to print a new line, let's say, let's just use this print L. If you want a new line, and n, my name is Peter, and yeah, let's say my name is Peter, and my second name is Udwar. So something like that. I hope it works. My second name is. So this is just called escape characters. So we are just escaping. It should. My name is Peter. My name is Peter. So my name is Peter, and second name is Udwar. So we've skipped there. If you want to go to the lower, like this one, it's like this tag in HTML break. I don't know whether you've seen this tag in HTML. It normally, you go down to the other line. So this is we've introduced a new line. If I remove this, you also want to see what happens. My name is Peter and second name is Udwar. So you've seen that. So wherever you want to create that space, and if you want to create some extra space in between them again, you can just have an empty print call. We can have an empty print call over here. So we have this white space over here, blah, blah, blah. That makes sense. Okay. Concatenation, let's do string concatenation, just adding two strings using the positive sign operator. So for instance, please ask me a question if I'm assuming that you're flowing very well. There's a lot to do with string manipulation, data manipulation. There's a lot to do with that. I have only like 30 minutes. All right. Yeah. Any question? You are good? You guys are good? Let me assume that we are doing good so far. Okay. Because let's try to rush a little bit. Let me do something here. So, for instance, we want to, greeting one, first greeting one is equal to hi. And greeting two hi. So maybe Mary. So we just want to have one statement, so we can just print. We can just say, greeting one. We grab them, the variables. Greeting one plus greeting two. So we are just concatenating those. And like I told you, concatenation just means you're joining them. Okay, hi Mary. So what should we do to separate this hi and Mary? Somebody tell me, please, what can we do to separate them? Someone wants to try? How can we separate hi Mary?
I was thinking we can use quotations. We have the plus sign, then we have quotation marks, then another plus sign.
Good. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Very good of you. We didn't get it. So Nick has tried. So I've put those quotation marks. So what else can we do? Somebody to try. Please, we are 36 people, so let's try. I'll call your name. Jess, I'm seeing your name over here. You want to try?
Can I add something?
Yeah, you can.
The quotations should have a space between them.
Sure, 100%. Very good. Yes, excellent. So we have the space over there. Okay. Let's get to something else. Yeah, so we already did string formatting, white spaces. We've done that. And we can also have that extra indentation if you want to have some indentation. So let's do it. So let's say, for instance, but this one's, I think I shouldn't do it because it's taking, I want to introduce something. All right, so let's say programming languages. Let's just print programming languages, and we can do this, and then we can introduce a new line. And in that line, let's say Java. So our first programming language is Java. And let's say, now let's go down to another line. So let's do that. So the second one may be C++. But now let's indent it inside. So C++, so we can do that and that. Yep, yeah, I hope so. And let's print this out and see if it works or not. Programming is all about these small things, like, so let's put another tab over here. So it works. Good stuff. Very easy, very simple. You just learn to manipulate strings, and that's just one data type. We haven't done dictionaries, we haven't done lists, we haven't done sets, we haven't done tuples, and I don't want to get into that. I'll take another day for doing that. So we've done that using that operator. So I want to use a for loop, which is my next topic, control flows, which is my next topic. In the next 20 minutes, I should be done introducing control flows. All right, so let's say, for instance, I want to write what is this? What happened here? Okay, yeah, it's gone back. So let me say the words. Let me put the words in a list. Let's like I like Nairobi, for instance. Nairobi. So this is a list, and so let's concatenate and let's make a sentence. Basically, that's what we want to do. So for word in words. So, but what I want to do what's called iteration. Like I want to loop through. I want look at it like a cycle. So you want to loop in the cycle and pick all these words elements. Okay, so word is like this first element is word, and words is the entire list. So I want to pick one and then loop. I keep looping through. For word in words, for word in words, let me introduce another variable called result. So this is basically, I'm just, I hope I've done it correctly. Let me check how I did it before. What's up? Yeah, I introduced, yeah, I got it. I introduced a variable called result, and this should not confuse you. If you see that kind of syntax, what it means is that I am adding result plus word. It makes sense when you're doing a plus word. So the shortcut is normally the other way, the way I've written it. That's how it's done. So what I'm doing, I've introduced a variable, and in this variable, I'm adding the word into this variable. So here I should, let me see if I print, let me see if I print a result dot strip what do I get? It's not defined. Let me check how I did it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I need to define. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, we need to define the variable result somewhere. Yeah, so let's define an empty. Define the variable here. So we have it here now. It should run now. Yeah, we're messing up. So we have like now I like Nairobi, but who can help us here? I like, we have I like, this another, okay, forget about the first I, just concentrate on this. So let's separate them and make it a good sentence. So who can help us here? What should we do so that this is like I like Nairobi? Who wants to try? Tiffany?
The result will be result plus double quotation plus word plus double quotation. Sorry, result plus double quotation plus word.
Result plus, where do I put double quotation? I put here.
Yeah.
So result,
Plus,
I put another plus.
yeah. And
Plus
then
that.
yeah,
Okay.
and then double quotation.
That way.
And after you space between the double quotation.
That way.
Yeah.
You only managed the first one. So we still need a space between like and Nairobi. Who wants to try? Who wants to try? Nick?
Yeah, I think there should be space between the first plus and the quotation.
Where Samson? Between?
The first plus and the quotation and the first quotation sign, there should be a space there. I think it's written together.
So where? Which line? This is line 1, line 2, line 3. Oh, here. There. That way. That way, Samson? No, it doesn't work. Okay, let me save the day. Or somebody wants to try? Please try.
What if you add another plus and a double quotation at the end of the word?
Yep. I like that. I like the thinking. So this is what I'm looking for. You add there, and this should work. We can remove the other ones. So this should work. So what we, sorry?
The space in between the last double quotation.
Yeah, this should work. You just need to put space here, and it works. And why it's not working? Yes.
You had removed the double quotation between the result and word. I think they should be two of them.
It should work now. Result dot strip plus equals plus. Who wants to try?
The word and the space.
Sorry. It's now with the way we've done it, Tiffany, it should work now. Unless, because this is how I did before. Let me check. You see here. See, like for instance here, I love Pythons, and if I add, just look at the way I did it. I love Python result for word in words, result plus is equal word. So if you add here plus double quotes, you should, yeah, you see it's working. Yeah. Okay. So let me get into control flows. So control flows, this is just ordering how conditions, the precedence of conditions. For instance, how your program should flow. So here it refers to the order in which individual statements, instructions, or function calls are executed or evaluated. Python has several control flow structures that you allow to make decisions, repeat actions, and manage the flow. Yeah, so the first, let's start with an if-else statement. So for instance, and we will write a short program just to prove to you how powerful this is. This is what I love about programming. We don't have much time. Okay. Yeah, so unless somebody has questions on what we've just done, those string manipulations. All right, so control flows. Now, for instance, you have a situation whereby you are checking if a condition meets a particular test. For instance, age is equal to, and I'll bring a few aspects that probably you haven't met, but I think Benjamin touched on it previously, the input function. So age is equal to int input. Age is an integer because it's a number. Is Brian there? Today is not like I've heard about Brian. Please enter.
I'm here, sir.
Oh, good. Okay, so yeah, so basically what I'm doing here, this program, we want to ask somebody to give us the user of our program. For instance, this is what you normally see on many systems. You are asked something and then you respond, okay? So we are asked age, and we use this int. Int is just, we want to convert, because this input function normally, it accepts strings only, and we want to change the string into an integer. Good. For instance, if we have to print this age right now, it will give us an empty space where we should enter that age. We should enter that age. So what's the age? So if we print this now, it will give us an empty space here. So maybe 34. Then our program runs. Age is 34. All right, so please enter your age here. Yeah, so let's start using the if clauses. So if age, so if the age is less than 18, if the age is less than 18, less than or equal to, let's say less than or equal to 18, then you are allowed to drive in Kenya. You can print, you are allowed to drive. You are allowed to drive in Kenya. Okay. Let's see if it's getting boring. Let me know. I'll stop and we call it a day. You are allowed to drive in Kenya. And so if someone's age is less than or equal to 18, you print, the system gives you that that person is allowed to drive in Kenya. Else, so we call an if statement. So else if age is equal to 50. So let's say is equal to, these operators, you will also learn them, is equal to 70. We can tell them you are not allowed to drive in Kenya. Print. You are not allowed to drive. You're not allowed to drive in Kenya. And then we close that. Else, yeah, so let's leave that for now. So, or else, so if these conditions are not met, then you want to say something else. Please, you can say, and you can see how the syntax is, please seek. So for instance, you've given certain conditions that if they're met, then the program should run. If they're not met, then you give a very friendly message to whoever is using your program. So print, you need see professional. And for instance, don't worry about the wording professional advice. For instance, yeah. So this is an if else close. So let's try and run this and see. So what's going to happen here is that if the user enters an age here, and that age is less than or equal to 18, then they're allowed to drive in Kenya. And if the age is equal to 70, they are not allowed to drive in Kenya. Then otherwise, we can say seek professional. Okay, you are too young. Maybe let's say too young. So that means those conditions are not met. Too young. All right, so let's print this and see what enters. So let's enter the age. So let's say, let's do less than. So let's say it's 2 years old. So what happens? You are allowed to drive in Kenya. So our program is working. However, it's the semantics are not okay. Syntactically, it's okay, but the semantics, it's not making sense. How can a 2-year-old drive? That's not our problem today. The problem is for you to know how to use them. Yeah, you will start putting those heuristics or restrictions when you know how to use these if statements or else statements. So what we are doing here, if the age is less than 18 or equal to 18, no, it should not be that way. If the age is greater than 18, let's say the age is greater than 18. Somebody lifted their hands. Yes, Brandon, you want to say something?
So I wanted to ask, why is there a double bracket at the end?
Okay, where? Here. This one?
The first one.
Okay, because I'm using two functions, and these two functions, you have to close them. So, for instance, you see if it's print, you have to use that. So if I put print and I put another one int, so I need to have, each needs to be closed. So if I put int and I put input here, then that also needs to be closed. You see how they're coming?
Yes, makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay, good start. For instance, for x, for I in list range, something like this, to 10. 1, 2. I've used how many functions? 2. So print I. So something like this. You see, it prints for us based. I don't want to explain this. I'll explain later, but it works. You see here, it's printed for us what we need in this range. Okay, so let's go back to what we were doing. I love this. So let's refresh. So let's make it a little bit tight. So if age is greater than 18, then this is greater than or equal to 18. Then they're allowed to drive in Kenya. That makes sense. However, if the age is 70, then they cannot drive in Kenya. But if the age is like less than 18, then this block of code will run. So this block of code gets executed if the condition is true. If this condition is not true, and this condition is met, then this block of code will run. If none of these blocks are correct, if the test has not been passed, then this else block will run. Does that make sense? So let's say the age is 23. So that's higher than 18. That's more than 18. So let's say 23. So you are allowed to drive in Kenya. So you can see here, we've met, this condition has been met, and the first block runs. What if the age is equal to 70? Let's see if the second block will run as well. So let's say this is 70. You are allowed to drive in Kenya. That means our program is working. However, it's not working the way we want it. And I know the reason why. But for now, just understand, because we have not put enough controls like restrictions. Let's say the age, let's say the age is let's say the age is 10. Will it run? So the last block also runs. That condition is also met because the age is less than this one. Okay. However, this does not work because our program is not properly structured. However, I need you just to understand how these controls work. Any question?
I've seen the syntax for else if. Use elif.
Yeah.
Just confirming that.
Else if is for Java and JavaScript, but in Python we use elif.
Okay.
But it reads else if. You read it as else if, but in Java it's else if. In Python, I think also in PHP. Yeah. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question? I can see people dropping. All right.
Can I ask a question on something that we did earlier? I think it was on joining and replacing.
Yeah.
So I was running another code just to see if I could replace a letter in another word, and it's still displaying. When I ran the code, it's displaying Python. So I'm wondering if I left out a line of code or I'm doing it wrong.
So okay, let me get you clearly. So you try to, for instance, let's do with an example. Let's, for instance, Peter, and you were trying to remove the word P and replace it with another one.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I used the join function.
Or the join function, and it didn't work, or it worked?
It's still displaying Python instead of replacing the letter with, say, T.
Is it the example I did the first time?
And is it okay if I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Make it bigger, please. Okay, yeah.
So did I miss a line of code in between?
Okay, replacement, join. This code of yours is it's not correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's language Python. So replacement, you want to replace E
with O, the O with E.
The O, or the O in Python with E.
Yeah.
No, it's not correct. If you remember, there's a way we did it. Okay. It's not correct. So what we do, because let me not get into that, because I want to introduce something before we leave. I'll share the notes with you. See how I've done it in the previous example. It's in the first examples that I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me just very quickly. Yeah. So that's an if-else statement. There's a lot that you can do with this. Let me just do a for loop. These conditionals. This an if-else. There's a for loop, there's a while. Let's do some while loop or for loops, just a bit. We call it a day. So there's also what's called a while loop. A while loop works this way. As long as a condition is being fulfilled, that loop will continue to run. An example. And for a while loop, you need an initiating variable. So for instance, x is equal to 0. So this is just to initiate the while loop. And while loop is very, very dangerous. It can crash your computer if you don't write it correctly. So x is equal to 0. So while x is less than or equal to 5, for instance, then let's do something. I've left some exercises on the for loop that I wanted us to do, but I've left them. While x is less than 5, what we want to do, let's do something. Let's print. While x is less than 5, let's print. Let's print the values of x. So let's print the values of x. And then now we increment those values, the initiating variable, this one, so that the while loops keep jumping. So for instance, let me just finish it first. So this will be, and I've explained to you this. Yeah, so let's run it first. So this is what happens here. While x, substitute x with, for instance, any number that's less than 5. So while x is 0, we print 0. Okay, get it very clearly. It might be confusing, might confuse you in future. So let me make it bigger.
I can't see your screen.
Oh yeah. I think since Brian presented, but why are you people quiet? Yeah. Something has happened in my screen. Can you change just a minute? I've done something to mess me up a bit here. Magnifying has come over here now. How do I remove it? Just so. How do I remove the magnifying glass over here? Yeah, my screen is being magnified, so I'm not seeing anything here. Okay, give me a sec. I'll just quit and come back. Just give me a sec. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. I don't know what even happened. I'll just open Spider very quickly. So Spider. So sorry about that. All right, eyes. Are we okay? Is anyone floating? Are we okay? Are we okay?
So far, so good.
Okay. The rest, I want to hear from you while I'm opening my IDE. Just talk to me. Oh, Daddy, can you hear me? How is it so far? Are you catching up? Who else?
We are coping up.
Okay, Susan Macau. Is it, are you getting it, or would you want another class for us to repeat this?
So far, so good.
Okay. So, Emma Otieno, how about you? Is it okay, or is it becoming steamy? Are you catching up? And please, let's not be those people or you connect and then you leave and then you go, so that we mark your register. So that's not a good thing. So just sacrifice, be there, and soon you will see the fruits of what you're doing. So I'm opening my IDE, so because everything's shut. Okay, I'm not sure. Jude, are you there? Are you getting it?
We are good.
Okay. Ode, are you there? Samson, are you getting it? Okay, Ode, you're there. Okay. Jess, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
I'm looking for those people who have done that thing. Okay, wamefanya ile kitu. People just hook up and they go. But anyway, well, okay. So let's wind up with this 1 or 2 exercises. All right. So what was I doing? What were we doing before?
You wanted to talk about while loop.
Oh yeah, while loop. Okay. So there are many places where we can instances where we can use the while loop and the for loop, and there are times when Ronnie, you're lifting your hand. Can you speak up, Ronnie, please? Speak up. My ID is opening up.
Can you increase the magnification?
Oh, you're saying I increase
the magnification
of my screen, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, just a minute. It shows it's not responding, so that's why I'm kind of like waiting for it.
Okay, thank you.
Because it's a bit heavy, so yeah. So while I'm waiting for that, so talk to me anywhere we are finding any difficulty. Are we good now? I'm going to give you an assignment this week, a graded assignment that will cover everything that we have done since we started. Okay, so this will be graded, so you'll take it seriously. It's not timed, but you should do it. You should finish in a week's time. You take your time, do it in a week's time. So it seems my ID is not opening. Let me close it again. Wait for the program to respond. Yeah, let's just wait. So let me just talk to you. Well, yeah. So as yeah, so you will have graded exam this week that you need to finish in a week's time. Please don't use ChatGPT to copy paste for me answers. I've used AIs since they came out, since this came out. So I'll know that you are cheating. I will know. So don't even attempt. And if I'm quiet, I'm just quiet. But I know when you use AI, I know when you're not using AI. And we're also having a competition, a hackathon, the first Sunday in February. So we are going to compete group against a group, and all of us are going to code, and the winning group are going to get a reward, and they'll carry what's called a bragging right, like, you know, they're the winners for 1 month, 1 or 2 months. So they'll wear the hat of winners for 1 or 2 months, and whoever is gonna the best coder is going to be rewarded as well. We'll get something good. So I encourage you to keep practicing, keep coding. I think we should just wind up because all those things are not opening now. Let me try, because the programs I'm using are very heavy, so I normally open them like 2 hours before I start using. So if you shut down, then for them to, you know, pick up again takes time. So that's why. So I think we'll just wind up. So let me just briefly talk to you and then we close. It's 9. Yeah, it's 9. It's 9:08. So the nature of the hackathon means a competition. It's a coding competition, and yeah, you will compete against each groups. For instance, the Titans will be competing against Rising Force against Trailblazers, Coding Wizards, and IT Fusion. So TLs, please, you have a lot of work. I like the buzziness and the business in the Titans group. You are really, really active, and I like that. Your TL is doing a good work. I like that. So please keep that momentum, keep the fire, keep the synergy, because we are going to test you like, you know, we will see what Nicholas, you're clapping your hands, and okay, let me not say what I wanted to say. Yeah, so please, guys, be ready for the hackathon. TLs, ensure Nico, what are you saying? Ensure you keep your team members on their toes. Okay, I don't know, do you like the hackathon idea? Do you like it or not? Do you guys like the idea of the competition or not? You compete.
Yes, we do.
You compete, you win something. Yeah, and also you make yourself better. Yeah. Another thing you noticed is that I have done what? I've grouped you into groups, and some of you don't like this group, so please let me know. If there's anything I can do, then I can swap you. But sometimes it will not be easy to swap everyone. So just let me know. Just send me a message if you want to be swapped. Let me know, because we will not be able to do that when after some time. And then take cognizance of the fact that you cannot join all groups. For instance, cohort 2025, you cannot join cohort 2024. It's for the older guys. So please don't request to join in cohort 2024. It's meant for the older guys. Do not get confused with the groupings, because stick to your group and stick to that, because everything is within the grouping. So just stick to your group, your group's discussion, and please participate 100%. If you have an issue, talk to your TL, or you can just send me a message. I'll be able to assist you. If I'm busy, then I'll refer you back to the TL. Okay. If you have an issue with your TL, also let me know, so we can find a solution. Another thing is that I'll keep on telling you that we are here not to make you feel less or a defeated person, or somebody who's not a good programmer. That's not our intention. Our intention is to groom you, to make you a better programmer. Okay, so try as much as you can. We will give you what we can, but the bottom line is that everything ends with you. So you have to keep up with the rest of the team, keep up with the pace. Okay, So I think that's that for tonight. If you have any question, please let me know. Shoot up your hand. Before we close, my group is going to win. Yeah, Nico is saying the group is going to. Please watch the title. I'm telling you, they are speaking it, and they will win because they are speaking. That's the word of God. You speak, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So they keep speaking it, and they're doing actions which suggest that they might win it. So please, don't sleep. Yeah, the rest of the groups, please don't sleep. Coding Wizards, Trailblazers, IT Fusion, please don't sleep. And I'm not saying that we will give them that winning reward. They have to work for it. So do not be overwhelmed with the number of groups that we have. Just stick to your group. The group that we have in common is Seed Family. Seed Family is for everyone because that's for welfare. But if you want also to discuss with those people who are in cohort 4, cohort 2024, then you can only see them through Seed Family. But if you want to discuss with people in cohort 2025, then you can only chat with them through cohort 2025. If you want to chat with people who are in your group, then you can chat with them in your particular group. Okay. All right. So that marks the end of today's class. So any question before we close? Yes, Nico, raise your hand.